Hey, how's it going? All my beautiful friends out there. I am at home and I do have to seriously apologize to you guys about all the delay in any videos or posting. Just been kind of chaotic, and then I'm also haven't been feeling that great either. So yesterday at work, it turned out to be a really great day because I was able to work with the gentleman, get together a sale. And he's got an interesting situation, and thankfully, I've had an experience with somebody with similar needs as his, but he is 6'4", and every vehicle that he's tried, whether it be side entry or rear entry, no matter the brand of car, he just hasn't been able to comfortably transfer out of his scooter into the driver's seat because he is a big guy. And I told him, I was like, well, I said, this is what worked for a lady that I worked with. And the lady I worked with, she was like 6'2". She was a bigger woman, like 200 something pounds. And I said, this is the only build that worked for her. And this will work for you too, because what you've tried out, I'm assuming the floor is about 2 inches shorter than the floor in this vehicle we can custom build for you. And so, yeah, I was very excited to give him some good news because I'm sure it's been a little bit of a discouraging and frustrating journey for him. So, yeah, so what we're doing is we're building the car. He gave me his deposit, and he's going to actually fly out from California when the car is done, give it a try, and then, make sure that it will indeed work for him nicely. And then he's going to have us ship it back to his home after it is approved. So, I'm like very, very excited for him. So I can't wait to meet him. This build absolutely should work for him because, I mean, if this doesn't work for him, then I don't want to sound negative. Nothing will. This is going to be the largest, most spacious conversion he can get, period. So if he was able to transfer in those other vehicles, but it was just a little more uncomfortable, he should be able to easily transfer in this vehicle. And we're removing the center console for him too, because we can do it in the Sienna Legacies, like the gas units. So yeah, very good feeling, especially because I do know that we have stopped with the leads. Like, they're not coming in. They're not coming in. They're not going to come in until next year. So, you pick up on some things that people say here and there, and that's the reality of the situation. They're not giving us anything super crazy. They're not investing in anything. So what we have is what we have, and then we're getting some, I think like Facebook type leads, which, you know, people on Facebook, they see the cars, they get excited, they're interested, but like we don't get a lot of like serious buyers from Facebook. Not to say that there's none, but it's less likely. People are just scrolling, having fun, like, oh, that looks cool, kind of thing. But yeah, after work, I got to chat with Mo later in the evening, and we had a really, really, really good night. Like, we were laughing a lot and joking and watching our show together, Kim's Convenience. So really had an awesome time and really connected more too. Had more deep conversation, talked more about like just past experiences and like our thoughts and feelings. And I just love when we connect like that. However, the end of the night did have a little bit of a more like sad note because, Mo told me like, yeah, he's like, in December I'll have like a week of PTO, and I don't know what happened. I don't know if I just totally misunderstood him or he misspoke or what, but I really, really thought for some reason he told me that in December that we were going to be spending a week together when he got that PTO. So like this whole time I've been like thinking like, hey, yeah, December. I was like, and then I could use like what what remaining PTO day I have plus my holidays that I have coming up. I was like, we could branch it all together, and I would have a week. I would have a week with him. I think I'd have to take like one unpaid day off, but I would have a week, and we could just have like a really lovely like Christmas slash New Year's like together. And I told him, I was like, yeah, I was like, I could fly out to New York for a couple nights, and then maybe we could fly together into like Chicago, go see your best friend Jeffrey and his wife, maybe stay there for a couple nights, and then take the train back into Battle Creek and wrap up the holiday there. And he was just like, whoa, whoa. He's like, hey, he's like, that's sounding like, he's like, that's a lot of days and also like kind of expensive too, isn't it? And I'm like, well, I mean, I mean, you told me you had a week, right? And as far as the expenses, I mean, like, me and you together, we could swing that. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I have PTO from the one job, but he's like, I don't have a week off from the other job. And I'm just like, what? I hadn't even considered that. And I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know why. I swear I heard him say, like, yeah, I want to spend a week with you in December. But he was trying to explain. He's like, no, he's like, what I meant is like, you know, we could maybe spend a week total in December. He's like, but it would have to be like, you know, different weeks. So like, I could spend a few days with you this week, and then maybe this week I could spend a few days with you. And I don't know, like, for some reason, like, it just absolutely devastated me. Like, what? I don't know why it devastated me so terribly much. I just, because I had it in my head and I was just like, that's awesome. I was like, that'll be like the longest we've gotten to have with each other, like in person. So I was just like really excited, really, really looking forward to it. And yeah, it's just not going to happen like that. So a little bit of a sour note because I did. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I started crying. Like I did. Like kind of devastated me a little. And he was very apologetic. Like I'm sorry. Like and he felt bad. But I'm just like, man, this sucks. But I was like, okay. I was like, like let's just move on from it. Like let's just try to enjoy the rest of the night. Like I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bring like the mood down because we've been laughing and having such a wonderful time and just feeling very connected. And then, you know, I kind of have that thing about me when I get something in my head and like I get my hopes up about something, like when I really like throw myself into it and then like I find out like that's not the case, like it devastates me. Like, but can you do? What can you do? Just we have to do what we have to do. That's that. So, and then like a little bit later in the night after we had recovered from that like, sad conversation for me and sad for him too, I think, but you know what I mean? It hit me. And we're just touching base on like I was like, like for me, like you get me like in my emotions like that, like you get me crying like that. I was like, I honestly have never had that. I was like, even like with like my exes, like I never like cried and felt the way that I feel right now when I'm feeling sad, like regarding something to do with him. And he was just like, can we like, maybe not talk about exes and stuff? He's like, I was like, well, I was like, it's kind of important to understand like where I'm coming from on some things. And, there's past experiences and past traumas. I was like, that's why like I do need some reassurance from him. Like and I need it fairly often because I just constantly think like, oh, he's telling me all these things, all these wonderful things, and he's showing me all these great things. But I was like, but that could change like in 2 seconds. Like he could just be saying that and like, you know what I mean? Like I get all in my head about it, even though he's given me no reason to doubt him in any way. And he was just like, okay, he's like, you know what? He's like, you're right. He's like, you are right. Because he did get a little annoyed with me about that. Because I was just like, and he's like, you know what? He's like, you're right, though. He's like, I guess I just don't really like to talk about it because I was like, what are you like hung up still? Is that like why it's hard for you? He's like, no, he's like, just really because like when I hear you talk about it, it does make me like a little bit jealous. And I said, I get you. I was like, I do feel a little bit jealous too. I was like, how do you think I feel? Like, you're telling me your ex, the one who, broke your heart, like 6 foot model, you know what I mean? From Europe, like, that's not me at all. I'm not even close to that. And he's like, yeah, he's like, I don't know why I told you that. I was like, you should be telling me things like that. Like, I was like, really? I was like, if you see like a future like for us and like being truly together, we should know everything about each other. You know what I mean? Like, really know. Like, and he agreed with me. So, I don't know. It's kind of a mixed bag. Like, kind of like this month. This whole month has been just like a mixed bag. Like, I seriously feel like I'm just on an emotional roller coaster. Like, one minute I'm just like ecstatic and happy and I'm joking, like, haha, and then next minute I'm just like, super in my feels, feeling very romantic, like feeling very connected. Then I'm like sad and I'm crying and I'm just like, what the fuck is going on right now? Like, ugh, need a little bit of like grounding here, I think. A little grounding. But yeah, today guys, I did not go to work. I woke up and I did not feel good at all. Like my tummy was hurting really bad. Um Full disclosure, totally had the shits. And I did throw up a little bit too. Like my tummy was not feeling good and I was just exhausted. So I was like, you know what? Like usually I would go to work sick. Like the past couple times I've been sick that you guys have seen, I've gone into work like I powered through it, even though it's like I was just absolutely drained. I'm coughing and I'm sneezing and I'm gross, but I just couldn't this time. And then before you judge me about going into work sick, like the reason that I am is because they are now not allowing us to work from home if you're sick. Like that has been a rule for a little while. And so like, well, you don't want us to do our job and work from home while we're sick, so I guess I'll come into the office and I will work sick. It's kind of my attitude. Like, I really don't want to have to use my very few remaining vacation days because I'm sick. So, but today I did choose to take one of my vacation days because I couldn't today. So I've been pretty much just doing this right here. I literally just took a shower. I finally just got cleaned up. I did eat some food, which helped me feel a little bit better, but drinking a heck of a ton of water. But that's pretty much what's going on right now. I love you guys to absolute pieces. And again, sorry for the delay. Like, share, and subscribe if you want to keep up to date on all the things going on in my life. And when I do get a chance to do something exciting, like go to New York next weekend, I'll try to show you what I can. But it is getting harder and harder. I will admit that because, you know, it's all about Mo, when I get a chance. So it's less of like a, hey, here's New York, check out these cool buildings, check out all these awesome things. And it's more like me focused on spending time with him because our time is so precious and so limited with one another. But all right, guys, I'll talk to you again soon. Love you to pieces. Bye bye.